we've reached the squire's tale. Now, a squire is kind of an apprentice knight. He sort of serves the knight and then eventually gets to be a knight himself. And our squire in the Canterbury Tales is the son of the knight, and the knight tells the first of the Canterbury Tales, and it's a very, very long story. The squire equally tells the story of courtly love. A long time ago, there was a king in Chaucer, cold land, part of Russia. And the king, I barely have the words in English to be able to tell you that he was noble, he was wise, he was brave, he was handsome, he was a good king. The king had 2 sons, and he had also been blessed with a daughter. One evening, when all the court were assembled, there rode into the feasting hall a strange man on a horse made of brass. And the man dismounted from his brass horse and said, "My fabulous beast, he can travel anywhere very quickly. You simply twist a peg by his ear, and in only a day he can take you to the other side of the world. If you know how to speak to him, he can even fly." At his side, the strange man had a sword without a scabbard, and he raised his sword aloft and said, "The magic of this sword is that with one cut it can wound someone, but if you wipe the flat of the blade over that wound, the wound will heal." He also held a mirror, which kind of sounds like a strange, kind of sounds like an odd thing for a knight, an odd thing for an armed warrior to carry. But he also had a mirror, and the gift of the mirror was that it showed the truth. No matter what a man said that he was, the mirror would reveal the truth behind his words. But the most intriguing gift of all was on his thumb. He had a ring, and of course it was gold, because rings in stories are always gold. He had a ring. And the gift of this ring was that whoever wore it would be able to understand the speech of birds. The knight gave the ring to the king's young daughter. It was a great feast that night, and perhaps a better teller than I could tell you about the swans that were consumed, and the spice cakes and the mead. But suffice to say that all the revellers went to bed, tired but replete. The princess awoke at dawn. Something was preying on her mind, and she twisted the ring on her finger. And she got out of bed, and her governess, she was young enough to still have a governess, asked where she was going. The princess said, "I am so restless, I cannot sleep. I'm going for a walk, going outside." And the princess went outside, went for a walk, and found she could understand everything the birds were saying. And she found herself drawn to a tree where a peregrine falcon, a beautiful hunting bird, was perched. The female falcon, her breast all bloody, where she had stabbed herself with her hooked beak. The princess could not only understand the speech of birds, she could also speak to them, and she asked the falcon why she was stabbing at her own breast and why she was making herself bleed. And the falcon said she had given her heart to a male falcon, to her true beloved, and they had been together for some time, hunting together, working together, until there came a day when a kite, a mere feeder of carrion, not a hunter like she was, had flown past, and her beloved falcon had flown off after the kite, and she had never seen him again. And in her sadness, she stabbed herself so that she bled, and her feathers ran red with blood. And that image of being able to understand the speech of birds occurs in a Brothers Grimm story, The White Snake. If you've read Douglas Adams' Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy trilogy, if not, why not? You'll be familiar with the Babel fish, the fish that you pop in your ear, and you can understand any language. Oh, I'd love one of those. The idea of having something magical enables you to understand people's speech is a thread that runs through quite a lot of stories. The other thing that Douglas Adams said was that he loved deadlines, as a lot of writers do. I think Stephen Fry said the same thing, but he loved deadlines because they make such a wonderful whooshing sound as they fly past, and you find yourself after the deadline still writing away. In Chaucer, it seems, it's probably a little bit in the afterlife where Chaucer and Douglas Adams are chortling away together. Chaucer, it seems, was no different, because some of the Canterbury tales were never actually finished, and the Squire's tale is one of them, which is a terrible shame, because it's like we kind of want to know what happens to this sort of steampunk mechanical horse, and we kind of want to know what happens to the Princess Brothers, but as it is, we have to make do with the strange night and the magical room, and we never find out. Other writers have actually finished this in their own way, but we will never know what Chaucer intended. But I do love the image of the kind of magical gifts. And if ever you find out where you can get a horse like that, do let me know. More stories from Chaucer coming up. Please do subscribe. Check out the Facebook group. And I hope to see you again very soon. Take care.